Traffic seems to be moving smoothly through Burbank Airport today after hours with no air traffic controllers in the tower. Numerous sick calls yesterday caused the Burbank Tower to shut down. It was left empty from 4:15 until about 10:15 last night. The ripple effect was cancellations, travel delays, and concerns about future travel. Julian Keel is here. He's an aviation expert and founder of Points Path. Julian, hopefully you have all the answers that people want to know, because this impacts so many of us. So if I have a flight in the next couple of weeks, should I be worried? How worried should I be?
So let's start with the basics. Safety is not being compromised when we see incidents like we saw at Burbank yesterday. There are redundancies built into the system. That area of airspace was taken over by a regional section of controllers, and so there was never a safety issue. However, because we did have an empty tower, as you mentioned, it meant that flights in and out of Burbank were delayed or even canceled for a period of time. And that's really what we're looking at. If you're traveling here in the next few weeks, you're not going to have an issue with safety, but you could have an issue with a flight that's delayed or canceled, meaning you may not get to where you want to be on the schedule you had planned.
Yeah, so it was a San Diego-based air traffic controllers that took over for the Burbank Airport. No safety concerns. I think, I mean, obviously that puts people at ease, but still it just seems a little unusual. Yet, as you're looking ahead, because now this is happening in other airports across the country today, aka Nashville is seeing this happen right now. If I am purchasing a ticket in the coming weeks and the government remains shut down, is this something that we should be buying travel insurance for? Does that help in this situation?
So the simplest thing to do, and it's what I recommend even in normal times, don't buy the cheapest ticket, the basic economy fares that have no way to change or cancel them without paying a large penalty. Instead, first start by getting that ticket that's one level above. It usually costs for a domestic flight maybe $30 to $50 more for a round trip. That'll allow you to change or cancel your flight without a penalty and gives you a lot more flexibility. Beyond that, you can purchase travel insurance. However, before you do, you should check what are the protections provided for free by your credit card. If you purchase your ticket with a credit card that has travel protections, and you'll want to either contact your bank or look at the terms and conditions of your card, you might already be covered for delays and cancellations, whether you need to buy meals or even get a hotel room in the event of a long cancellation or a long delay. You might already be covered and not need to pay the extra money for travel insurance. So do a little bit of research before you get on that plane.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you don't necessarily need to purchase the travel insurance, but it's important to buy the ticket above the standard economy.
That's exactly right. So you do want to give yourself a little more flexibility in times like this. These air traffic controllers are essential workers. They are supposed to be working, but because they're not currently being paid for their work, we are seeing more of them calling in sick, and therefore that's why we're seeing these reductions in staff in places like Burbank.
Okay, before we let you go, we have less than a minute. I sort of glossed over the fact that, yes, air traffic controllers in San Diego did take over yesterday. Is that a regular occurrence? Because as far as, you know, so many of us are concerned, it seems very unusual. But is it really?
It's not a regular occurrence. It's also not something that never happens. Certainly when you have a airport that is, even though Burbank is a smaller airport in the region, it's certainly still a commercial airport. The tower is usually fully staffed, or at least staffed enough that regular flight operations can take place. That being said, these things do happen on occasion. They happen in other areas. They even happen during times of year where we're not in a shutdown. Newark saw situations like this earlier this year. So it isn't something to worry about, but it is something that definitely affects the system in ways that could cause cancellations and delays to your itinerary.
Yeah, could cause disruptions. All right. Well, if you want more analysis from Julian Keel, you can check out Points Path for the best information about flights and deals. Julian Keel, you did have all the answers we were looking for, so we appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.